Hello there, my name is Richard. The first time seeing my channel, I used to review cartoon series, anime series, or something, computer random. And today we talk about Villainous. Think of it as sort of like an update. We gotta talk about Villainous, the spin-off series, the Little Rescue, Volume 2, but also talk about many different things, what happened in the fandom, updates, and basically coming out new episodes and new characters and theories. Now let's start with the first one. Now if you want to read this comic, there is a fan-made translation on Twitter called Night for Moon, that his translation of the first two issues of Little Rescue is pretty good. I do recommend it. If you want, I put a link in the community tab if I remember. I forget, please remind me. All of that, let's talk about issue 2 of Little Rescue. Now, what happened on the second issue is all about Sunblast sort of contemplating, trying to think what to do next, till he got attacked by a black cat inside the bus, waiting to think about what's the next step. During this time, the sort of fight scene, he actually his mind goes somewhere else, thinking, why this happening to me? He completely blamed Dr. Flood for why he shrank him so small. But at the very end, it's kind of his fault. If you see the original pilot, it also the Instagram account that he was sort of kind of dismissed from dismissed by everything else, that he's still sort of mental blocking, thinking he's all that in a bag of chips. But he also realized if he makes too much of the scene, everybody will find out he actually shrank small. There could be a lot of problems with him. He actually revealed himself. So he tried to figure out how to get out of this sort of situation while making so much noise. But the only problem is the cat stopped fighting him, and the cat got his attention somewhere else, specifically for Nomba's pet called Cutie. If you don't know what this character is, it's basically a pet rat from Nova that she sort of rescued. He also let Sunblast to be sort of his friend because it's the only same size, both of them. But at the very end, if you see the Instagram account and all the images, how he sort of struggled to these to be open and talk about his sort of scenario. Cutie is the one who sort of helped him out a little bit. He didn't like him first, but little by little he became his best friend. He also from Nombras. Now he's sort of worried if he doesn't defend Cutie, for Nombra will be upset on him. But the only problem is, for Nombra also told him to not release himself because it could be a loss in trouble, not by her or her own career, and also by peace, asking a lot of questions. Where were you? So he's trying to figure out how to not grab his attention. He also saved Cutie by the black cat. So he realized, wait a minute, the misseat, because there is a hardcore fan inside the bus. He says, look, there is Miss Heat, and the fan girl automatically reacted and go crazy looking for her. Now, they also found a theory about Miss Heat's special ability to control people, that wondering what is the limit of her control. And this fangirl, that she is the original one in the original ending of Villainous, that she reappears there from right or second. You can see a photo of her. I guess this is before the breakdown, but at the very end, it also makes sense that her ability to control this person is sort of limited. They can actually have basically normal lives, but at the same time, sort of devoted by Miss Heat, just buying her merchandise so she can especially talk to other fans and convince other people to be sort of worshipped by Miss Heat. Once again, Miss Heat is very clever and very dangerous woman. Luckily, she was actually captured and put down. Anyway, during this time, Sunblast quickly move and defeat the black cat to save the mouse. During this time, he turned around outside, seeing Miss Heat own home. If you're watching the Instagram account, that Sunblast was sort of struggling to find her location because she have multiple houses, so he's sort of kind of not sure where to go. Now the comic ends there. Now let's talk about all the little cameos in the comic. For example, I mean is, most of the crew members are actually stuck in the bus that you not fully realize. For example, the first cameo is actually Alan, the creator of Villainous, sleeping in the job inside the bus. There's another cameo from a different member called Poison Hat next to Alan. Next to her, you also have Diego Manuela. Now that basically it would happen in issue 2 of Little Rescue. Now talk about the two Dementia tips they actually drop. The first Dementia tip, if you don't know what that is, it's basically Dementia getting out tips. But once again, it's Dementia. Everything he says is sort of crazy instead of fun. You can find 2 of them in TikTok if you are interested. But both of them related to 2 different holidays. The first Dementia tip follows her basically talking about Halloween. The second Dementia tip is talk about Day of the Dead. Now there is something completely interesting about this. They actually drop numbers each Dementia tip, but we don't know what this numbers actually is. Now the first one appeared the first video of Halloween. That's basically number 23. We don't know what this actually means till we see the second video of Dementia tips about Day of the Dead. That has a number of 11 or 17. We don't really sure because the number is sort of blurry, kind of hard to read. Everybody determined this is the date, or at least date, month, and year, maybe when the final 5 episodes will drop. Just remember, this is the only way an Alan can actually say something because he's on contract. So you have to leave the little tips and let you interpret things. So once again, we don't know this is the date of the episode will drop. But once again, everybody's sort of reading this on maybe end of the year, the last month. But honestly, we're not sure. But once again, hopefully they drop one more Dementia tip to add another number so it be sort of confirm where we're going. But other than that, let's talk about the next interesting thing. Cartoon Network Mexico actually dropped a new app game on their channel. But this is sort of interesting. This new app especially is just a question and answer sort of game. But they leave something of strange markings in the corner that nobody really knows what that is. Because this is Villainous and Alan has to have it dropping little clues here or there. Everybody's sort of expecting this sort of a code. But the only problem is we don't have the key. Without the key, we don't understand the code. So this could be a possibility if you're interested. And also, the app game is kind of funny, interesting because you have to answer some questions. If you beat the game, that means you'll be recruited of Black Cat Villainous crew. But once again, that's sort of interesting if you wanted to know. Now let's go to the next interesting thing what happens in Villainous. Now, Alan's Twitter account, he dropped several things. One of the most interesting thing is he leaked a couple images of the next couple issues. Some of them I have shown on my last video, the coach of Sunblast, and also another image, a new character called Cricket. Now, this is the first time we see these both characters. In fact, the coach of Sunblast, we not yet know who he is, but he actually does work in peace. He also, it shows he actually broke down the door of Miss Heat. Hopefully issue 3 or issue 4 explains more deeper the relation of Sunblast and the coach. Now, the other character, the new one called Cricket. Now, this character automatically give you vibes of sort of Ant-Man from Marvel, that he could shrink or not shrink. I think it explains who this guy is. Basically, his uniform is sort of an exoskeleton. Could actually protect him, also increase his strength. But his special abilities is his legs. This is the reason why they call him Cricket. His kicks are very strong. He also can jump very far. But the only thing we have is information of him. But the only thing he adds on the Twitter account leak he put that he is the same age as Sunblast. Honestly, that's all the information we know. But we can actually assume that Cricket and Sunblast do actually know each other, at least in theory. But that's the other image that Alan dropped, that Sunblast is running away for someone behind him as a shadow. this is what the fandom server started talking, because this image or the shadow reminds me what Creepy Charlie dropped on her blog. They talk about a myth in Crystal Lake that actually happened an incident. A bunch of teenagers went inside the sewers and none of them reappeared from one guy. But she dropped a photo of this sort of shadowy figure who actually eliminated all the teenagers except one. Once again, nobody knows who this is, this image of Creepy Charlie. But you want to know about Creepy Charlie and her third theory. What is this? I made 2 videos explaining who is Creepy Charlie and the myth in Crystal Lake. If you want, it's on my playlist if you want to watch them. Now, let's talk about the cricket instead of theories people are talking about him. People do believe he's someone who basically eliminated the kids in Crystal Lake. And also people are sort of theorizing he could be unhinged. Oh, who knows, could be the reverse. Maybe he's just a himbo. Maybe he's just a nice guy doing his job where peace told them. Or who knows, maybe he's the one who did eliminate the kids of Crystal Lake, orders of peace. That's leave a lot of question, and also question a lot of peace sort of kind of questionable things they do. Of course, there's also another theory that his suit that actually can help him shrink. This is what the comparison of Ant-Man from Marvel really is, because of the last image of Sunblast run away for something because his size. Once again, that's all the information and theories we have about this. Now let's talk about the final thing, especially Cartoon Network LA Twitter account dropping a sort of a comic book strips from Day of the Dead. That's something if you want to see. If you don't on Twitter, then I just letting you know. Basically, this sort of strip talks about how J-Lo sort of accidentally breaks down Mother Portugai's house. She thought something's wrong. Of course, there was something wrong, is that she needs to work in Villainous and she needs a babysitter, and J-Lo says yes, and she paid I think $50. I mean, that's a lot if you're in Mexico, so yeah, that's a lot of money for her babysitting the orphan kids. That's basically it. Now, I have one question. Do you like all this? Do you like more of it? Tell me down below, let me know, and let me hear your theories. Now, I got nothing else to say, just thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and have a wonderful day. Bye.